Although the situation remains calm, the gate leading to the assembly complex remains closed as men of the Nigeria Civil Defense Corps manned the entrance of the complex. The Nigeria Tobacco Control Alliance (NTCA) has urged the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, operationalize the Tobacco Control Fund in the interest of Nigerians and their safety. The alliance decried the needless delay in operationalizing the Tobacco Control Fund. The group made the call at a briefing today in Abuja with the theme, "Delay is Dangerous. Operationalize Tobacco Control Fund now." The board chairman of NTCA, Akimbode Uluwafemi, stressed the need for the fund to be made operational because of its huge benefit to the country, the citizens, and the country's health indices. He also bemoaned the yearly death toll as a result of tobacco-related diseases, adding the tobacco industry has added corruption into the country. While stressing the Tobacco Control Fund is a product of the Nigerian law as established by the National Tobacco Control Act 2015, Chibuke Nwokorie, the project officer of the Nigeria Tobacco Control Alliance, expressed concern on why the delay has lasted this long. The minister said that Nigeria can generate billions annually by increasing the excise duties on tobacco as recommended by the World Health Organization.
The Ministry of Health, the Central Bank or the Federal Inland Revenue, Ministry of Finance, all agencies that are concerned in ensuring that this fund becomes active, is operationalized, needs to take this as a national emergency because over 16,000 Nigerians are dying every year as a result of smoking. Smoking is being linked even to the various challenges, most importantly the security challenges that we are currently facing in our country today. And so we need to ensure the effective enforcement of the law, and for us to achieve effective enforcement also means that we also need to have a sustained funding stream.
The economic consequences and the health consequences of the operations of the tobacco industries are huge. And even the little revenue in terms of taxation, in terms of whatever the government gets from these TIs is not quantifiable to the economic burden and the health burdens of the operations in Nigeria. But what we are simply saying is that even with that little that can be gathered, the Nigerian government needs to wake up to it and ensure that this revenue are generated. One, when this revenue are generated, number one, it promotes effective tobacco control to cease smoking. Number three, it also hinders uptake of tobacco, particularly among our youths. In terms of statistics, tobacco tax in Nigeria is one of the least, even within the sub-African, the West African region.
You're supposed to pay a fee, a levy, to have license, just tobacco industry operators, be it manufacturers, distributors, importers, they are supposed to pay a fee. There is no fund because there's supposed to be tobacco control fund where that money is supposed to go to. And if we calculate how much government has lost from 2019 to today, that's about 3 years, is huge. And lack of this fund has also made the tobacco industry to dangle all sorts of things.
Chief Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, Architect Sonny Uchono, has commended the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions on the level of support for which has led to some of the transformations in the fund for the last 7 years. Uchono disclosed this today in Abuja while receiving the members of the committee who were on oversight function to the fund, noted that the harmony between the National Assembly was largely responsible for the breakthrough of the agency over the years. The TETFund boss further expressed gratitude to the National Assembly for considering passing the Finance Act last year, as the percentage was increased from 2% to 2.5%. Our correspondent Miriam Nakimo reported Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund, which has started yielding visible results, as the COVID-19 vaccine project sponsored by the fund will be ready for the first clinical trial in November this year. TETFund awarded a total of 1.25 trillion billion naira distributed to 4 clusters of researchers, and one of the clusters, which is the vaccine production cluster, got a total grant of 450 million naira. In his response, the chairman of the committee, Senator Ahmed Keita, said the purpose of the visit was to get a brief on the 2021-2022 budget, and having shown the executive secretary to be a performer extraordinary.
Talking about innovations, which you said you're funding with polytechnics and universities, I knew during the coronavirus pandemic, there was this request for oxygen generator, and I want to make an appeal. This is an appeal. No country can develop without solid mathematical base, and the mathematical.
There's a huge emphasis, only recently we announced last week, one of our major research interventions is on the COVID vaccine, and it will be ready for clinical trials in November.
The Nigerian Institute of Town Planners FCT chapter has restated its commitment to enhancing and achieving sustainable urban development and management of the Federal Capital Territory. The chairman, Nigeria Institute of Town Planners FCT, Mustafa Mutbidiyu, has said that lamenting the harsh rate of the population growth coupled with weak urban planning and management in Abuja, is stressed the need for cities in the capital to develop optimally. He further explained the Town Planners Day, which will be coming up on the 1st of September 2022, which is in line with its core objective of promoting town planning through education, training and practice. The National Vice President, Nigeria Institute of Town Planners, stressed the need for collaboration with critical stakeholders to inform the public about the importance and essence of town planning.
The aim of the 2022 Abuja Town Planners Day, with the theme Strengthening Sustainable Urban Governance in the FCT, is therefore to provide a robust platform for discourse and engagement on the process of charting a path for the sustainable urban governance of the Federal Capital Territory, with the aim of strengthening existing urban planning administration structures and systems. The program shall feature a lead paper presentation to set the tone for the roundtable discussion sessions involving experienced practitioners, planning administrators, urban advocacy and non-governmental organizations, town planning professionals, etc., with the aim of enhancing efficiency in urban planning administration and collaboration among planning ministries, departments, agencies.
And he has his manifestos. I want to believe that the first thing we should ask is, where is your proposal for urban planning? Because if they want to build schools, if they want to build hospitals, they want to build roads, these things are not in the air, they are on the ground. And if there is no plan for it, then the person is not yet ready for governance.
The Benue State Governor Samuel Otom has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to rescue the nation from bandits, kidnappers and terrorists. In the statement issued by its Chief Press Secretary Nathaniel Ikyu and made available to newsmen in Amakadi on Thursday, the governor said the issue of insecurity, the handlers of the president always shy away from the reality. The governor was reacting to that statement, also mentioned that the presidency would need to be hands-on in telling Nigerians steps being taken to end insurgency and the unprecedented bloodshed perpetrated by armed terrorists in the country. The Lagos State government says it plans to set up the Lagos State Tertiary Education Trust Fund to create a financial model that will sustain its universities. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu stated this at the handing over of the report of the visiting panel on Lagos State University to him by its chairman, Professor Abdulrahman Bello. He said there was need for the trust fund to enable university management to stay focused and in order for the state government also to leave a legacy in the educational sector, while he called on the Academic Staff Union of Universities and the federal government to resolve the strike issue in the interest of the students. Speaking on the panel reports, the governor said it will constitute a white paper panel to review and diagnose the recommendations for the future and posterity of students as well as the people of the state. Abdulrahman Bello said he visited last two campuses at Ojo, Ekpe, and Ikeja, also invited and interacted with various stakeholders.
Finally, really is to say to you and assure you that your 322 pages and several thousands of annexures that you have brought forward will certainly not gather dust. We will immediately constitute a white panel, that will sit back and review all of the recommendations, all of the ideas and suggestions that are contained in this report.
We went through all the essentials as required by the terms of reference, and we looked into financial, infrastructural, project management, and all kinds of things, including management of the institution, and we were able to make our own remarks.